Hey guys, I'm using my iPad right now. My laptop just kind of froze and I'm not gonna wait for it to get its life together. So this is a whole different angle and everything. So I just wanted to finish reading this chapter. So reading chapter 30, Cage Perfection, and then I'll give you guys all the random notes I have for it, which is quite a lot. This is really intense. Yeah, so you'll see. We walked with our fingers entangled together like a box of loose strings. The town was decorated with the snow from the night, lightly, perfectly. I watched as my footprints painted the floor. I watched the clouds release from his mouth, and we walked in a comfortable silence, a delicate silence, but impermeable to any other sounds besides our own. So we maintained it for as long as possible, communicating through our bodies. We walked towards an open field coated in ice and snow. There stood a pine tree in the center of it all. We stood just meters away from it, admiring it. It held more snow than it could handle. Snow just slept on its branches with contentment. We walked closer to it and it began to open, like the detachment of a 3D puzzle. A teal light sprung from within it, promising disaster and uncertainty. We walked towards it and entered the tree's base, a white floor, and then it disappeared from beneath us. I felt a sickness as my stomach came too close to my lungs. Then we landed, splashed into a bed of sunflowers dancing in water. River and I exited the pool, and there we were, in front of them, as they played behind caged bars. In a perfect world. Hello? A young girl who appeared to be only 12 whispered. She sits there playing with a flower in her hand, with the sun behind her in a permanent stage of attempting to settle and let the moon rise, but it would never happen. Hi, I smiled as I looked at her flawless existence. She smiled. Flattery will get you nowhere, Aelin. And how are you, River? River made that familiar smirk and he looked at me. I'm happy. He held my hand tighter. I can tell. She looked at him with a smile and fierce eyes. He looked towards the floor. So with this chapter, it's more or less to me the introduction of Lydia and the introduction of how she generally is. You'll see her in other states and things like that in the book, but this is kind of the crux of her dream. This cage is the crux of her dream. So I'll start from just talking about what's going on in the book first, then I'll talk about the references. So in regards to the book itself, Frederick in the last chapter sent a message to them kind of saying, hey, you guys need to go see Lydia for some reason. So you'll see that reason later on. And so they go to meet her. And again, just innately, this is my way of doing it. Just innately, they know where they're supposed to be going. So they go into this like snowy place. Again, I hate the cold, but the snow does look beautiful. It is definitely an image to be seen. And again, they go into the tree and they're on like a base. There's teal light. The base is just clear or white, whatever, and then it moves. And they go into her world and they splash into a pool of sunflowers. And that will always happen. They won't always enter from the same location, but when they get there, they will go into a pool of water with sunflowers. When they come out, they'll be dry by the time they get to her caged bars or whatever, but always entering it, they go into that pool. And again, to me, how it looks is it's dark. I can't really imagine anything from the pool up until this caged world. There's nothing there, but they don't go into her world. They just stand outside and they talk to her. And when she's in that caged world, she's a child. So again, I used the age 12. At first I was checking to see if I had written 8 because like I said, I use the number 8 and 4 a lot because that's my birthday, is April 8th. But I use 12. 12, I guess, personal, maybe not, but 12 is when I got my period. So before this, I got it all the way in like October. I'm born April, so almost 13 years old. So this is kind of me, let's say, as a child, and kind of being stuck in that world. If I haven't said it before, you'll see it in the next chapter who else is in the cage with her, so I won't say anything right now. It's Aolin. You will always see Aolin being in awe of seeing Lydia. Always, always, always. And River's kind of just like chilling, but she like has some type of communication with River that's like pretty deep. Now to go into what lines I liked, or what certain sections meant. So I said probably the most beautiful thing about winter is seeing the snow just on branches, like on these dead branches. I love seeing that. I do kind of think that the tree is more like an evergreen or something, but I do specifically like branches, so it'd be cool to see it kind of a bit more branch-y than like leafy. I said it comes apart like a 3D puzzle, because there was a 3D puzzle I remember having as a child. I've never really seen a 3D puzzle ever again, but I did have one growing up, and it was like foam and kind of like a sticker on top of it. It was a weird puzzle. I'm not really sure I got it all together, but that came to mind. So the sunflowers dancing in the water. My sister is born in like August. Not that that makes much sense, but my sister did have a hat like this, I guess like woven like that wood type of hat, and it had like a huge sunflower on it, and she liked sunflowers growing up. I feel like I'm connecting sunflowers in August together because she's born in August. But yeah, she had a sunflower hat, and it just reminds me of that. I think that's why I have it in the pool. So also like a connection of like, say, her siblings, or a connection of like her siblings in childhood and things like that. And I also, I said what happened when I was 12, and I say I do think of myself as a character, but also Dakota Fanning. When Dakota Fanning was young, she kind of comes to mind. There's not too many young child actors that I can think of, but definitely a confidence, definitely like something womanly about her. I do remember there's a character in Game of Thrones that's a young girl, and she says, John's my leader. I can't remember her name right now, like Elena or something like that. But that kind of strong presence. And again, I always have her playing with a flower and just sitting down, and the other boys are behind her. And then also when I talk about the sun setting, or like in a permanent state of setting, I remember Teletubbies. So I'm not sure if I have it on here, but when I was younger, my brother loved Teletubbies. So my brother's like 9 years younger than me, and he used to watch Teletubbies when he was like 2 years old or something. And the world to me looks like that. So like hills behind it, and then a sun that's setting. So not that little baby's face above, but a sun that's like permanently like setting, about to set, but never does. So just a nice summer day. I also had this image. Not that this is Lydia or anything, but again, kind of the greenness, the plants and everything there. And like I said, hills, but not that this is a young person either, but Lydia, like in her dress, sitting down, still fierce. Like this girl's eyes are so fierce. There's like a little wolf there. There's no animals or anything, but when I saw this picture, Lydia came to mind. So I'm going to go on to chapter 31, and we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for getting up to this part with me. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my process so far. Thank you.